What is up, Nerd Nation? It's your boy Hunter here from Film Nerd TV. Still your predictions champion and will be after SummerSlam. But before we get to SummerSlam, we just got done with a huge NXT Takeover event, and I'm here to review it for you guys. Here's how this is going to work pretty much. We're going to go through the matches. I'm going to grade each match on a letter grade from A to F. Excuse me. And then afterwards, I'm going to give it a rating out of 1 to 5 stars. Pretty simple, correct? Actually, you know what? Let's change it up a little bit. Let's rate each match out of 4 stars. And then at the end, we'll give a letter grade A through F. Alright? So, we kick off the night with the NXT Tag Team Championships on the line. The Undisputed Era defending their titles against Mustache Mountain, which is Trent Seven and Tyler Bate. And what a way to kick off the card with such a great tandem tag team match. What I mean by tandem tag team is Undisputed Era and Mustache Mountain are really good at stringing tag team moves off of each other and really working the crowd into a frenzy, which they were by the end of this match. I was on the edge of my seat for this match. I was standing up, going crazy, because it was such a hard-hitting battle. But it had the technical aspect, it had the strong style, it had the British style, it had everything mixing into one. It ends with Tyler Bate taking a high-low, which was a sweep the leg and a sick kick from Roderick Strong for the Undisputed Era to retain. We still have one member of the Undisputed Era who will defend his title, which we'll get to in a little bit. So I'm going to give this match an A+. It was, I'm sorry, out of stars. I'm giving this 3. I'm giving this a 4 out of 4. Perfect way to kick off the night. The crowd is hot. The crowd is ready for NXT Takeover, and Brooklyn was just the most. I love the Brooklyn crowd. I love the New York crowd because they can really get invested in storylines, which we see by the end of the night. But this was a great way to kick off, get the fans hyped for a great night of epic action. Oh, and then I'm sorry, right after the match, the War Raiders, Hanson and Rowe, come out and attack the Undisputed Era, setting up the Undisputed Era defending their titles against the War Raiders, which is going to be amazing. Alright, next, we have the Velveteen Dream versus EC3, baby. And this was a very good match. This was a match that needed to be in the spot it was in, because the crowd was hype. The crowd was almost exhausted by the first match. So you give them Velveteen Dream and EC3 to bring the crowd back to a frenzy pitch, which they were. The matchup was really good. Velveteen Dream has really impressed me. He's always impressed me in NXT. And EC3, I followed this dude back when he was Derek Bateman in NXT. Then he reinvented himself in Impact Wrestling, came back, and is showing why he belongs in the top 1%. The match ends with Velveteen Dream hitting the Purple Rainmaker off of the top rope on the apron side, and then pinning EC3 on the inside after hitting, I believe they call it a Dream Valley Driver. There we go. Which is a cartwheel into a Death Valley Driver position. Yeah, this was a very good match. It wasn't perfect. There wasn't any mistakes or anything. I'm gonna give this match a 3.5 out of 4 stars because it was very, very good. And I gotta mention Velveteen's tights. On the back of his tights, it says, "Call me up, Vince." Which was just the perfect. That was so good. Oh yeah, ladies and gentlemen. They pan over to the NXT crowd, and who do we see? Who is the next NXT sign-up? It's the man himself. Matt Riddle is in NXT. Former UFC fighter, and is now a NXT superstar. I went back and watched Matt Riddle on the indie scenes. The dude is epically good and belongs in NXT. With him, Keith Lee, Ricochet, Adam Cole. NXT is stacked with a whole bunch of indie stars, and it is amazing to see. Next, we have aforementioned Ricochet and Adam Cole. We have the NXT North American Championship as as Adam Cole defends his championship against Ricochet, the one and only Ricochet, and this was another epic match. One of the things that stood out to me, the moment of the match that stood out to me, was Adam Cole and Ricochet trading strikes. Like, Adam Cole hit a pump kick, Ricochet hit an enziguri, into a rolling elbow, into a super kick, into another enziguri, in this one combo, and then Adam Cole falling on top of Ricochet for the pin. Ricochet kicks out. Just so many false finishes and so many shocking moments, like Ricochet hitting the flying plancha from the top, over the top rope he does, was just beautiful. Adam Cole hitting Ricochet in mid-moonsault. Like, Ricochet went for a moonsault, and Adam Cole connected with a picture-perfect super kick into the, I believe he calls it the last call, the brainbuster into the kneecap. Ricochet kicks out. Ricochet then hits runs around, springboards over, hits a hurricane runner on the outside of the ring, rolls Adam Cole back in, hits the 630 splash, and Ricochet is your new NXT North American champion. And what a performance by both Adam Cole and Ricochet. And the way I see this happening, Adam Cole is going to get his opportunity at his rematch. And then Adam Cole is going to be called up because Triple H has big hopes for Adam Cole. And it's great to see Adam Cole being used correctly. Next, we have the NXT Women's Championship match as the champion Shayna Baszler defends her championship against the Pirate Princess, Kairi Sane. This match was very good. It was a very good story going into it about, in the Mae Young Classic, Kairi beat Shayna Baszler to win that tournament. Shayna Baszler then beat Kairi Sane to get that win back. They're 1-1, and this for the NXT Championship, and both women gave it their all. Yeah, this match was very good. I mean, there's very slick movements. I think Shayna Baszler is getting she's got kind of the Ronda Rousey thing. She's gravitated towards pro wrestling in a way that most MMA stars don't. Once she came into NXT, the light was on. She knows what to do. Kairi Sane being the wildly veteran that she is, surprisingly ended up winning the NXT Championship. Kairi Sane went up for the elbow drop that she does, which is always picture perfect, by the way. The way she hits that is incredible. Shayna gets the knees up, immediately comes up and gets her in the, I'm going to call it Coquina Clutch. I know it's like the Fujiwara Clutch or whatever. I butchered that name. But the rear naked choke, but as she went to lay back for it to get it wrenched in, Kairi Sane used the momentum to roll her up with her shoulders both, with Kairi's shoulders up and Shayna's shoulders down. Referee counted 1, 2, 3, and there was a shock silence. Not because people were upset that Kairi won. It was just a shock that it happened. And then right after, you see the emotion pouring out of Kairi Sane. And just the emotion that she was finally a champion. And then she proved that she belongs in there with the best. Was epic. I'm going to give this match a 3 out of 4 stars. It was incredible. I don't think I rated Adam Cole versus Ricochet. That match is 4 out of 4 all day, baby. And next, the main event of the evening. Originally going to be a triple threat match, but due to Aleister Black's groin injury, which get better, buddy. We're rooting for you. You'll be back stronger than ever. It became a one-on-one last man standing match. The champion, Tommaso Ciampa, takes on Johnny Wrestling, and holy shit, what a match. Not just how physical it was, because it was definitely physical with a whole bunch of spots that I'll get to in a minute, but the story. This has been a year-long story from when Ciampa turned his back on Gargano to then coming out after Gargano's epic championship match with Cien Almas and attacking him with the crutch. And then with Ciampa costing Gargano his job at NXT to the epic sanctioned match. And then the great Chicago street fight. It ends here. Last man standing. Brooklyn 4. And the crowd was hyped up for Johnny Gargano. And they booed the living shit out of Ciampa, man. Ciampa is a very good heel because he knows what to do with the crowd. And he knows how to make the crowd hate his guts. And it works. Now let's get into the spots. Before the match even started, Gargano went after Ciampa with strikes, punches, super kicks, whatever. I won't do these out of order, but you had an epic, they just traded back and forth shots, just back and forth, back and forth. Then you had Ciampa getting the chair and whelping the shit out of Gargano, and Gargano trying his best to get up, fighting through the pain. Then you had a moment where Gargano launched Ciampa into over the announce table, knocking over Percy Watson, and then Gargano Ciampa catching him, hitting the air raid siren, the white noise, off one table onto the other table, the table imploding. You had Gargano set up a table and then set another table on top with the legs sticking upwards for the second one. That comes into play later with Gargano punching Ciampa on the who's on the apron, waving the bye-bye to him, hitting him with a super kick, and Ciampa takes an incredible fall and then crashes through the table. He gets up, and then you had freaking Ciampa hitting a running sliding knee with a chair to Gargano, who is sitting on the not the apron, the barricade area, kneeing him through the barricade area, and then stacking stuff like he picks up a freaking medic who got super kicked moments earlier, put him on top, put a chair on top, put the barricade on top of him. Gargano gets up at 9. It ends with Gargano. Gargano brings out the crutch. That weapon has been used a lot, and just the storytelling of Gargano finally hitting Ciampa over and over and breaking the crutch over his former best friend, former tag team partner, was just epic. They brought the handcuffs back, which does come into play at the ending. Now to the end of the match. I know I'm jumbling a lot, but you know, this is a match you definitely have to see. So the ending comes with Gargano which, let me reset a little bit. Gargano has Ciampa on the entrance area where the Titantron and stuff is. Picks him up and drives him head first into the entrance, the stage. Another symbolism of the death of DIY at Takeover Chicago. And then he hits him with a super kick, knocks him down. He takes Ciampa's arm that has been handcuffs it to the stage, and just wallops him with multiple super kicks, with the crowd chanting, one more time. He keeps doing it. Referees at 8. Ciampa gets up. Gargano looks down, puts the knee pads down, bare knee, runs and hits a knee to Ciampa, knocking him out. But in return, he goes to hit the knee. He hits the knee, and then Gargano busts his knee on those crates that are out there, and both are down. It's at 8. The tension is high. Referee counts 8, 9. Ciampa rolls off the stage, and Gargano cannot get up because of Gargano wanting to hurt Ciampa. It cost him everything that meant to him, the NXT title. It cost him the championship that he had won. Gargano is getting in his own head, and that's the whole story, is Gargano cannot keep control when Ciampa's around. All the stuff that Ciampa did, the spitting on his ring and throwing it into the audience in the in Chicago this past at Takeover Chicago, to cost him his job, to everything that Ciampa has done to him. including taking the one thing that Gargano has worked his life for, the NXT Championship, which was the fault of Johnny himself. Johnny has to deal with the fact that he's obsessed with hurting and mangling Ciampa. But at the end of the day, Ciampa is being smarter. He's outsmarting him. He's using his anger. He's using Gargano's anger and him not thinking straight to capitalize. And that was the most heartbreaking thing, because Gargano had the match won. This is beautiful storytelling. This is beautiful symbolism. And I don't see it ending until Gargano can finally capture the NXT Championship from Ciampa. And then that story wraps up. This was an epic match in brutality, in violence, but also in story. And also a heartbreaking moment. In one moment, Gargano lost his opportunity. I'm giving this a 4 out of 4. This series of matches between Gargano and Ciampa have to go down as one of the greatest rivalry in wrestling history, because the storytelling has been done so well. You really feel bad for Johnny, and you really despise Tommaso Ciampa, and they're working our feelings so well. 4 out of 4 without a doubt. Let's go into match of the night. Match of the night, you guys know, is Gargano Ciampa. Without a doubt. There was no bad matches on this card. Every single match was perfectly done. We have a new North American champion. We have a new women's champion. We had a great, fantastic tag team title match and an epic main event to tie it all together. NXT Takeover Brooklyn might be my favorite takeover I've ever seen, because every single match, every single moment was perfect. And I'm giving NXT Takeover Brooklyn 4 an A+ rating. Check out every single match on this card. If you can't watch every single match, I'll give you 3 matches you need to check out. You need to watch the tag team title match, just because of the brutality, or the great British style wrestling of never giving up, and the great technical aspect. You need to watch the North American Championship match, Ricochet vs. Adam Cole, for the high-flying technical spectacle. And you need to watch Gargano and Ciampa NXT title. Might be match of the year. And I'm not blowing smoke or anything. It is perfect. So, NXT TakeOver Brooklyn gets my highest rating, an A+. SummerSlam has to step up its game, because I don't think SummerSlam can top this. But if it can somehow top TakeOver, this might be the greatest 2 days of wrestling ever. Alright, guys. It is your predictions champion. It is your film nerd creator here, Hunter Chambliss. If you like this video, hit that like button, subscribe to Film Nerd TV below, and let me know in the comments what was your favorite match of NXT Takeover Brooklyn, and do you think SummerSlam can be as good as Takeover? Alright guys, I'm Hunter, I'm a film nerd, I'll see you guys soon. Peace.